Well, we have the final trailer of Stranger of Paradise. Let's watch.
Boy, this game's been on quite the journey.
Risk your lives to save us made me realize something.
Are those our corpses after we finish 13?
No. Save that for when we get to the end of that.
Also,
Hey,
Gwen,
Princess. Hey, Sarah. How you doing?
We must become beacons of hope among the chaos that all may look to in times of doubt.
Yeah, you'll probably be shredded.
Anyway, wait till you hear what the song they chose for this trailer.
Oh, well, thank you, Dwibs.
Just tell us about the crystals. Those who are to forge the future
Also,
mustn't
Oberon,
be
what are you
concerned
doing here?
with triviality. And cut to the
This
chase.
is Oberon having a gun.
Yeah. That's one thing about these games that kind of weirds me out. They go on these long-winded speeches where the characters, everyone else is eventually like, just get on with it.
I like how...
In that case, Liz, you're gonna be a fan of Jack then, because he constantly tells people, "I don't give a shit."
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sure.
I like how for 15 we got a Japanese boy band, and now here we got a bunch of Western rock and metal band members
I will say
hanging out.
this, though. Seeing all the
Shira, let it be known that we don't ever repeat ourselves. Go on.
I will say this, though. Seeing all this weird future technology stuff really does make me wonder how this is eventually going to come around to the original Final Fantasy.
You have to remember, Jova, the thing that I mentioned in our FF1 run. The original NES version, strongly implied by Lufinian technology and everything, had the world of being very futuristic before the arrival of machines, and they fucked everything over.
So
I
what you're
get the
saying is
idea
that Final
that
Fantasy 1 is essentially a post-apocalyptic.
yes, and the Dissidia reports actually reinforce that.
So yeah, Jack's strategy for killing Lich is by
Just
punching it
really
in
hard.
it.
I figured it out. We just need to punch him really, really hard.
Little did you know, Ted, that the killing Lich in that game was way easier than you thought.
I mean, the monk was effective. I forgot if actually Luz was the one that did the finishing blow.
Okay, so I will say this about this game. It definitely has gone on quite the hero's journey. It started off as just this weird random thing that some people were into just for the memes, others weren't really digging too much, and of course, Square thought we would take seriously
And also
despite the
these
obvious
little
fact
teas
that
at the end. What does that mean? We don't know.
Again, though, revealing that this is Gowlin's, secret origin was the best thing they could have done for the game's marketing. Because now it has really amped up how much more interesting it is.
Oh, and now wait for it.
Alright, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, joining the long history of Final Fantasy music lists, Frank Sinatra's My Way.
I won't give up. I know we can do this together.
Yeah. Let's just say, Shiro, right now, My Way from Frank freaking Sinatra is playing.
My
I'm
favorite
not
of his
shitting you.
songs.
You know what? Why the hell not?
Hey, it's interesting, Joel. I did actually some research after reading today, just out of curiosity. Apparently, Sinatra himself hated this song.
Which is ironic because that's probably his most popular song.
It's clear that Nomura doesn't.
Change. Jack.
But yeah, also, in this version, apparently Jeff becomes super buddy-buddy with Astos. And again, there's some implication about a lot, and I mean a lot of tragedy, so
Yeah, so it should be
I'm ready
fun to
to
see.
I'll
suffer.
never forget you.
You sure about that?
Of course I am. You never forget your first love.
So yeah, apparently Jack and Sarah have to split, and because they can't be together because cross.
Well, more than that.
Wow,
and,
given what we
wait
know
for
is
it.
going to happen.
Guys, hold on, guys.
Now what's happening?
Super iconic imagery.
Hey,
Disney
it's the
Castle?
shot,
No,
it's the
Shiro,
shot
you
from the
can't-
first Final Fantasy game with the big
Yeah,
intro about the
image.
heroes setting
And
out.
last but not least, Jack having to see with a throne with 4 skulls, like the one of Chaos. Promising that
Okay.
you will not forget.
PS5, PS4.
And now coming out on March 18th, 2022. Sorry, pre-order now.
I mean,
Yeah,
it does
gotta
feel
go
like a
back
game
into the
from
past.
2002, to
The
be fair.
only real stain that I would have to say is that this is yet another Square game that is going for the Epic Game Store exclusive route when it comes to PC. It's still annoying, but hopefully at the very least it's coming to also the other consoles. So at the very least the PC version can be still played in different ways anyway.
I'm I'm getting it on PS4 and PS5, so it's fine. It doesn't affect me. Well, that's the thing. The PS4 version can be freely upgraded to the 5 version. That way, I can get to add both versions anyway, so it's better.
I've only got, in terms of physical consoles, I've only got a PS5.
Sure.
PlayStation. Okay, I got a PS2, but yeah.
There is still a lot to speculate about this, but let me just also mention quickly because I got to know. According to the developers interview that were released around the same time of this final trailer, the song is not just for this trailer alone, it's actually in the game. I didn't catch particularly if it's supposed to be around the beginning or at the end area. It would, in my opinion, it would fit better for the credits, considering what kind of story we're dealing with here. But again, at the very least, it's not just a marketing one-time thing. So it's actually neat how it's actually properly integrated in the game.
The copyright strikes we're gonna get.
Yeah, we'll see. But otherwise, they kept mentioning a couple of things, like they wanted the job system from the beginning. They appreciated the fan feedback. They are also definitely much more open and actually more okay with the whole chaos posting memes instead of like we mentioned where they were a bit annoyed. Now we're actually more lenient, and they actually cannot wait to see what the actual feedback for the finished game is. I also seen a bit of a gameplay, and they showcase a bunch of the new jobs, including the Samurai, for example, in Mystic Knight. This is incorporating a lot of jobs from 5, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So yeah, the only thing that remains to see is if Jack will actually be able to kill Chaos, but something tells me that he might not succeed.
My guess is he's going to become Chaos.
Well, Joe, but that might not be even that simple. There's a lot of speculation to be had, like saying it's connected, since FF1 is dependent on time travel and the loop. This is what it's going to start causing. Maybe Jack gets infatuated with Princess Sarah, but he sees her dying, and the only way he has to save her is to travel back and become the bad guy in order to kidnap her, in order for her to be saved by the actual Warriors of Light. Again, it's only speculation still at this point, but it's still very interesting. Just like from the first look that I had from this game, I'm still very interested. I definitely want to see where this is going, but I still couldn't believe things would have gone even more crazy than what we actually started with.
Shit.
What?
Now I'm gonna listen to my Linkin Park-esque song. Stay with me.
Also, Sophia is cute, and no one has to tell me otherwise.
Oh, no, definitely. All right. Yeah, Dwebs, what do you think of this whole thing?
Okay, so far, the biggest vibe I've gotten from this game is that it's so try hard to be like a mid-2000s PS2 game with more modern shine to it. And it's just kind of hilarious. It's like they're trying so hard to make such a strong, serious story, and yet the very idea of making something really, really dark based off a comparatively light-hearted original game is just kind of funny to me. It'd be like if Level 5 decided to do with Ni no Kuni 3, decided to make it to make Ni no Kuni look like hell with people playing electric guitars everywhere and dressed like Satan.
The closest thing they've ever done to that is a segment in Yokai Watch called Dark Yokai Watch, but it's meant to be comedic. It's very self-aware of how overly ridiculous it is and how
that's
dark
for
it
the
is.
edgy part. If you want a level 5 content that actually pushes instead a more mature type of content, not the level of these, Megaton Musashi so far seems to be having that.
Yeah, Megaton Musashi is the first instance of a level 5 product having sexual content.
Wow, level 5 getting rumpy pumpy. That sounds.
Don't worry this. It's done tastefully, and there's actually a plot purpose for it. It's not just done for the hell of it.
We're watching it for the plot, we swear.
I am.
Yeah.
I can speak for you. But...
I'm watching it for the cats.
Well, are you sure you should watch a level 5 product for the cats, Shiro? You know what usually happens from that.
Yeah, this is leverage over Hino. He owes me.
Like I said, Shiro, Hino saw cats and he thought, well, time to go cat.
All right.
Joe, what do you think of this whole thing?
You know what? It seems like it could be very good, honestly. Again, my thoughts on it have definitely improved from the first time when it was shown at Square Enix E3, it was a mess. And it is just a Square move that they weren't expecting people to make fun of such a, let's be honest, hilariously written game, essentially. But I'm glad that they're at least driving into the curb with it. And taking feedback and realizing, hey, maybe actually advertising this game well and not trying to go all secret-y stuff on everything is always a good idea. Because honestly, revealing that this was a big origin story for Gaon is one of the best things that they did for this game. Now it adds on a lot more nuance and stuff, and also really gets people pumped and thinking about how things are going to go here and there. Like, I'll admit, I am still a little really confused with their initial plan to try and market this as a remake of Final Fantasy 1, because I don't think that would have been a good idea in the long run.
All right, Shiro,
Anyway,
what do you think?
Everything Dwip said about like his impressions of all of this from the beginning up until now, that's why I'm definitely interested to see where this goes, because it looks like Square are actually going to do what I thought Bleeding Edge would do. So, you know.
We already talked about this in the first demo commentary.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Shiro. Nomura is a huge fan of mid-2000s Edge.
So am I.
I mean, again, you have played Kingdom Hearts, but you haven't seen the weirdest that you can get is that Musashi game that Jova mentioned on the PS2, and especially the Bouncer. The Bouncer is super ridiculous, even if it's not at the levels of this.
Oh, yes, it is.
And remember, and like Teo has said in our second demo commentary, this is kind of a passion project he's had since the Dissidia days. He's always wanted to tell, as he put it, a story about an angry man, which is why he punches things. See?
It is also nice to get the confirmation that this will have a lot of the fantasy elements that some people were worried it wouldn't have.
Oh, guess one other thing I forgot to mention. Guess who's getting, one of the DLC? Guess who's actually showing up in one of the DLC packs, Jova?
Medusa from Kid Icarus Uprising.
It's so random. Anyway, Gilgamesh.
Again,
he's being relegated again to DLC, so we'll have to see how it turns out.
Gilgamesh being all shit talking everybody.
You see, it turns out Gilgamesh was always there from the start.
All right.
Anyway, the only other thing that I guess the others haven't mentioned is that even if the game itself doesn't turn out as good as it seems so far, the soundtrack's going to be amazing and completely all over the place. I want to hear what 2000s Edge music is in Nomura's playlist.
So we're going to hear edgy music along with the classic tunes from Frankie Sinatra all in the same game.
Share the Spotify link, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm done.
For me, it's just one of those cases where just like I love the game because of how sincere it is. I love its, and I love how it goes at the beat of its own drum. It's not being generic. It's not derivative of anything. It knows exactly what it wants to be, regardless of whether or not it will appeal to a huge variety of people, and proudly wears that identity on its sleeve. And I respect the hell out of that. And like I said, I really love the gameplay of the Neo team. Remember, this is made by the same guys who made Neo, Team Ninja. So sure, why not? A Final Fantasy game that plays like Neo, by all means. The only real complaint is that, come on, guys, could you please stop dropping items every single second of the gameplay? But aside from that, yeah, awesome. Well, one of the things about the Neo games, Joe, and
lots of looting.
There's way too much loot to the point where you're receiving loot practically a second, one new item per second, and it can get a bit overwhelming at times.
I guess.
But then,
does the gameplay often, facilitate it? Like the more loot you have, the better anyway.
Obviously, more loot is never a bad thing. It's just that you're constantly getting new equipment over and over and over, to the point where you're just like constantly seeing, okay, new loot, so let's see if it's better than the current equipment I have. And this is like every single. So you're constantly on this ritual where you're constantly getting new loot.
Jova, compared to Dark Souls, Neo has a lot more micromanagement.
Yeah, which can be a bit annoying depending on the person. But I'm personally fine with it. I can tolerate it. But yeah, it can be a bit. Come on, guys! Stop dropping loot every single step that I take.
Also,
okay?
Shiroy, from what I'm seeing across the internet, you weren't the only person to mistake that castle for the Disney castle.
It wasn't a mistake, it was a joke.
Okay. So that was Stranger of Paradise, the final trailer. You can look forward to our full playthrough recorded by me later on when the game comes out. So
Happy
please be excited.
Please be excited.
Secret prequel to Kingdom Hearts, let's go.
Sure. Well, we kind of already had that, but whatever. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah,
all right,
moment,
no,
it's just because of the Disney castle joke.
Yeah.